take the break so
So today I'm going to talk about the violet flame, and it is a very transformative tool that I am so excited to share with you all. And before I even get started on the talk, I just want to take a moment here to, one, say thank you to all of my subscribers and supporters. I never really did a thank you video for my 1,000 subscribers, and now it's at 1.2. And I just want to take a moment to let you know how much I appreciate you, and those of you who have been here on this journey with me from the beginning since 2013, my deepest sincerity to you all and gratitude. And for those of you who, even if you joined yesterday, I appreciate you just as much as well. And just to take the time for you to listen to me and to just even click on this video means the whole world. Those of you who know my story know that, yes, I did always kind of want to be a motivational speaker after a friend of mine mentioned it to me when I was 22. Shout out to Teresa. Once he mentioned it, I had a light bulb go off in my heart. But really what inspires me every day is the love of my son Camden, who is now on the other side. And shortly after he passed away, at the age of 9 months, I saw a medium who started choking, and she was like, your son really wants you to use your voice. And lately I've been feeling a little lost, and I'm not going to go too much on a tangent. I'll get right to it in a second, but lately I've been feeling really lost, and I've been realizing that, as often as we tend to feel lost within ourselves, we know what we really want. We know what we came here to do, and deep down, our souls know what our hearts truly desire. So I was busy feeling lost when deep down I know that my biggest goal in life is to be a motivational speaker, and to do it differently, and to do it in my own way, in my own authentic way. So what is the violet flame? Oh my goodness, y'all. This is so transformative. It is a mantra. Okay, and you can be any religion, no matter what your belief is, even if you're an atheist. You can be Muslim, Hindu, a Sufi, a Rastafarian, whatever. Doesn't matter. And it's just 2 simple lines for this mantra. And it was given by Saint Germain, who's an ascended master, which is technically an evolved soul who's ascended to the level of basically God essence. Okay, so it's like Christ consciousness. So Jesus Christ is an ascended master, for example. Buddha is an ascended master. Saint Germain, which is the person who basically founded the violet flame, he's the guardian of the violet flame, he's the bearer, the keeper, is an ascended master, Saint Germain. And you can find more information about this on Google for sure. Just by even Googling, the image of the violet flame can be very powerful. And so let me just get right into what it actually is. So the violet flame is envisioning violet flame as you recite this mantra. I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. And by repeating that and envisioning yourself in this purple flame, violet, indigo, it can even be like a light purple hue, pinkish, magenta, different variations of that purple bluish color on the rainbow. By envisioning this color of the flame, you are invoking this essence of this fire that is highly transformative. This is the essence of pure alchemy. Okay, so it is going to be beneficial for you, yes, in your spiritual life, in the sense that your spiritual life will completely transform. You will become more spiritual. That's definitely what I noticed. But also you will see that, let's say there's things that you need to cleanse and clear within yourself, which we all have, things that are no longer serving us that we may hold on to, such as resentment, anger, fear, grief. These are things that you may be ready in your life now to transform, and you might need assistance. So with the assistance of Saint Germain and with the assistance of reciting the violet fire, the violet flame, okay, they're known as either or, you can allow this tool to transform it for you, so you don't have to do all the work. I truly believe in a lot of our healing. A lot of it comes from, yes, from us. We do have to do the work, okay? But also it comes from the aid of different beings that we have in our realm, whether it's friends or coaches or guides or spirit guides. These are all here for our benefit. And a really interesting thing about the violet flame is they say that if you do it for 5 minutes a day for 6 months, you will notice drastic spiritual change. And I remember when I first started doing this for the first 6 months, I mean, I was already spiritual, but my journey, my path, like pigeonholed, okay, into a way more tunnel vision form of spirituality for me. I remember one day, and this is when I was doing it probably more than 5 minutes a day. I was doing it about 15 minutes a day. I remember being in my car, and I had just gotten back inside. So, you know, my car was off. I didn't have the radio playing or anything. But shortly after, and I was having a moment where I was praying and talking to God. And shortly after I got into my car, a family of pigeons flew. But the interesting thing is, I saw them fly by not because they flew in front of me right then and there, but it was more so the flap of their wings. I could feel and hear like the and it was more of a feeling than a hearing. And that's when I realized, wow, I feel very connected to the spiritual realm right now. It felt as though the veil was really thin, which was interesting for me to experience in broad daylight with my door shut in the car. So that was an interesting experience. Next, I will say it brought really serendipitous things into my life, synchronistic things, just places that I was working, people that I was meeting, practices that I was learning on top of this practice was just being given to me, you know, and that was really interesting. So synchronicities will appear to you more during your 6 months of trying this out. And I recommend trying it for 6 months. Now, there are a couple of things I will say. I will definitely suggest to always ask for protection before you do this because it is of such high frequency, and you'll notice that when you recite it that you will feel lighter, you will have a wider sense of your consciousness, okay? You will have a wider scope of your awareness. Now, with that high frequency, you want to protect yourself. There was an article that I read where a kid who was spiritually gifted was in a house where they were in a seance. They were gathered there to recite this violet flame in a meditation group. And they did not call in Archangel Michael, which is usually what's recommended for this. That's who I call in every time before I recite this. But they didn't call in any form of protection, and the child who was spiritually gifted was able to see that as they were reciting the violet flame, a dark cloud came into the house and just covered the entire room, which makes sense because you're going to such high states of light and such high vibrations that darkness will be attracted. The opposite will be attracted. So you want to make sure you're protected. Archangel Michael is also an ascended master in a sense. I believe, I could be wrong, but you know, he's an archangel, and he's really great with protecting. So I definitely recommend calling him in and then calling in Saint Germain, and always giving your thanks to both of them, because while this information is free, it only got released in the 1930s, and that wasn't even mainstream. It's still not mainstream. And prior to the 1930s, while it was around, it was only shared with select few people that were considered worthy. And right now, where we are on a collective level, shifting over to 5D, okay, shifting from 3D to 5D, which is currently happening, it makes sense that it is being more exposed and it's being shared. And I personally don't believe in hoarding information that's here to benefit people. If it's something that helped me, I would gladly share it with others. And I think it's something that a lot of people don't know about, but because it's so simple and yet so profound with such powerful results, it's like, why not share it and practice it? You know, you can do it while you're driving for 5 minutes. do it while you're in the shower and envisioning yourself being cleansed. You can do it while you're meditating. So it's also really good if, let's say, you want to meditate, but you feel like it's hard for you to meditate. A really good way to start is by using a mantra. Case in point, violet flame. You know, I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. And setting your alarm for 5 minutes to meditate, but you're reciting the violet flame. So it's win-win, because then, let's say you're somebody who has a hard time meditating, this will help you get into your meditative state by just reciting this mantra as you're seated. Let's see if there's anything else. I think that's about it. You know, work with these spirits, work with these saints, Saint Germain, Archangel Michael. Ask them to assist you in this process, and really, you know, take a moment before you recite it to set an intention of what you're trying to transform within yourself, because every day we're different. We have different concerns every day, or maybe it's something you're working on for the entirety of 6 months or a couple weeks that you want to focus on. You know, just bring that into the space as you're creating sacred space for yourself while you do this, you know, in protection and light and love. And yeah, I just hope you have such a beautiful journey with the violet flame, because it's so transformative. And I will give you a little warning, a little tip. You will not, and this is something someone else told me, not in reference to violet flame, but just in reference to your spiritual journey, is that once you go down this journey, there's no turning back. So, you know, make sure this is something you want to truly incorporate into your life. Make sure you are actually ready to deepen your spiritual practice before you go ahead and invoke the violet flame. And again, you know, and also, you know, check yourself. Make sure you're coming from a place of sincerity, in the sense that you actually do want to be the purity that God desires. I hope you enjoyed this video. Peace and love, yeah.